Hello and welcome to this video on the Erica Synths PICO DRUM2. Let's check out what's to come before we get into it. Now, unlike PICO Drums to the left there, which is sample based, Drum2 is based on 8 different synthesis algorithms. I'll put the images on screen and we'll of course go through each of these in this video. Now, working top to bottom, parameter 1 is primarily a tune control. In some of the modes it may do something different like the cutoff of a filter, and CV input 2 is hardwired to be your tune CV control, and in most modes that follows the volt per octave standard, so you can use this as a nice melodic oscillator, not just drum tones. And again, there's patches that explore this in the video. Parameter 2 can be anything from a wavefold depth to a pitch envelope amount. Decay is primarily amp decay, but there's an odd mode in there where it doesn't control amp decay, it may be a pitch or FM decaying envelope. CV input 1 is assignable. We simply hold the button for 2 seconds, and when that's blinking red, CV1 modulates parameter 2. Blinking green, it modulates your decay. And blinking blue, it actually shifts through with CV through these 8 different algorithms. We come out of that by holding the button again, and this button, when we just press, it goes through these 8 synthesis algorithms. We trigger the sound and output the sound, and that's the module. Now, a timing index has been on screen. Do skip around as you see fit. Without further ado, let's dive in. So with the orange mode, we have the pulse drum, where we get oscillator tune on parameter 1, FM decay on parameter 2, and amp decay on the decay control. And this is a pulse wave oscillator, frequency modulated, with a decaying envelope on that frequency modulation. Let's just explore the sounds. And this does track volt per octave as some of the modes do, so CV2 there, which is routed to tune. So now in this red mode, the second mode, which is the first fold drum modes. Parameters control oscillator tune, and then parameter 2 is a hybrid control for the wavefold amount and the pitch decay, the FM decay of the oscillator. And decay is the general amp envelope, the amp decay. Some lovely kind of bongo-y, simple sine wave bass tones, and just adding a touch of folding. And again, this does pitch track, so you can get some really nice, soft but still kind of rich from that folding bass, simple bass, and of course a nice range of percussion. Now the third mode, orange LED, is the complex pulse drum, and this is a pulse wave oscillator modulated with a sine wave oscillator, and the decay envelope of the modulation here is fixed. Parameter 1 controls oscillator 1's tune, parameter 2 is the mod oscillator 2's tune, the sine wave, and decay is the amp's decay. And it does some killer like low end gabba like kicks. So let's take a look at reassigning these CV inputs. CV2 by default is always your kind of tune input, and it tracks volt per octave for most of the modes, and that's straight assigned to parameter 1. Now the left hand drum 2 is my kick-like sound, right hand is the snare, and that's really just pinning this pattern down as we start to modulate and move it around. So stepped signal into the left hand CV2. We can hear that's the pitch. If I go into CV1, by default this is routed to parameter 2. But removing that for now, if I hold the button for 2 seconds, we get 3 different options. Blinking red shows it's assigned to parameter 2. Blinking green assigns it to the decay. And let's just explore that for a second. In say the red mode, you can hear that decay is moving around. But let's actually assign it to algorithm select. So holding the button for 2 seconds, it blinks. And let's just change the patch up a little bit and explore randomly shifting through these algorithms again. So a little bit of repatching here. The random pulse out here is triggering the drum 2. Sample and hold is now going to algorithm select. And we can hear it just flies through these algorithms. So the green mode here is a follow-on from the complex pulse drum. It's the complex sine drum. This is a sine wave oscillator core, but then the same sine wave modulating oscillator with a fixed decay envelope for modulation. Parameter 1 controls oscillator 1's tune, parameter 2 mod 2's tune, and the decay is the general amp decay. And again, this will track pitch. Some fuzzy, glassy kind of percussive hits there. So the light blue mode here is the space snare, and this is a sine wave oscillator which we can think of as the body of the snare drum, and then a white noise source going through a high pass filter. Top knob is oscillator tune, parameter 2 is the filter on the noise, and amp decay on the decay control. It's quite resonant filtering there, get some really harsh kind of mid-focus noise if you want. I'll back that noise off. This also tracks volt per octave, so quick sequence into CV2. And being very precise with my voltages here, I've managed to make one PICO Drum 2 sound like a whole crunchy drum kit. moving between the kind of kick snare, bit crush noise, which is kind of my hi-hats, and then the snare on that space snare sound. 2 bits of modulation, 1 to CV1, which I've assigned to algorithm select, and CV2 for pitch, and with a nice whole drum kit out of the PICO Drum2. So the darker blue mode here is the noise crush. This is white noise fed through a low pass and high pass filter, also going through a bit crusher. Parameter 1 is the low pass filter and the high pass filtering, DJ style, cutting out high end to the left, cutting out low end as we turn to the right of that mid position, 12 o'clock, bit crush on parameter 2 and amp decay on the decay knob. So the purple LED, this is Fold Drum 2, very similar to Fold Drum 1, but the Fold Drum 2 has some extra noise on the attack transient. And as you can hear, this makes a really nice bass drum. Sharp kind of noise transient tick to cut through a mix, and that pitch envelope just gives it that kind of percussive thump. Let's blend some of that folded sine in. You'll see the waveform fold on data there. We have VOP per octave tracking again on this one. So the pink mode here is the final mode called Slap, and this is a stack of noise sources with resonant filters aiming to emulate a clap sound, and we've got extra overdrive on top. Parameter 1 is the filter, parameter 2 is the drive, and the decay is the amp decay. So here's sequencing the algorithm and the pitch on both PICO Drum2 modules to create a more comprehensive full drum kit this time. Again, being very intentional with the voltages that I throw in. Each step has a precisely tuned voltage to select the mode and the tuning, and that gives me these two kits. The right hand Drum2 is my 4 to the floor kick and my hi-hat with an occasional bit of noise. There's some probability in my sequencing. And then the left-hand Drum2, seemingly more random. Again, there is some probability in my sequencing, but it's looping, and together give a more comprehensive drum kit. So that's it for this video on the Erica Synths PICO Drum2 module. Do check out other Erica Synths demos from me linked in the description. You can support my work at patreon.com/DivKid, where there's some bonus exclusives over there. hit like with a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for watching. Bye.